Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of Moving to Night City, a Cyberpunk RED build show. The theme this week was James Bond, and in this episode, I create Oddjob's hat as a weapon. Enjoy! Which is Oddjob's hat. Which has, the defining features, I suppose, is that it can cut through stone, steel, and it can, break someone's neck. But that seems... I feel like if it can cut through steel, it can honestly decapitate. It does return, if I recall correctly. And it's fashionable. I don't know what we're gonna call it. But it's definitely going to be a weapon or a fashion wear that doubles as a weapon. So again, I don't know what the name of it is. To start off, I think I'm going to open Black Chrome and take a look at the boomerang under weapons, thrown weapons. Alright, the Ranger Combat Boomerang, because it's going to be very similar to that. Oops. One-handed, exotic, heavy melee weapon. Exotic weapon. We're going to change this because it's not the same. Cannot be used to make a melee attack. That is important, but cannot be used. Throw some... no. The weapon continues to have SP when thrown. That's fair. Throwing this weapon cuts half of 2 rate of fire attack. That's not going to be the same. After it's thrown at the beginning of your next turn, assuming you have cyberware, it returns to you wherever you may be on the battlefield. Make sure to catch within an action if you have your hand free to do so. Okay. I think we're going to make this slightly different. But it's gonna be fairly close to this. It needs to be at least a very heavy melee weapon. So a one-handed, exotic, very heavy melee weapon, but cannot be used to make a melee attack. That will keep. I don't know if I want it to continue to have SP when thrown, because the damage it currently does is 4d6, and I might want to increase that, so I'm not sure I want to have armor at the same time. I mean, heavy is 3d6 that has armor, so maybe it could. Maybe that's what gives it its metal crushing properties. So let's say that continues to have SP when thrown. Throwing this weapon counts as a rate of fire 1 attack. Because we're gonna boost his damage. You only get 1. And then after it is thrown at the beginning of your next turn, or I'm gonna say you're wearing the linked what? Bow tie? Tie? We'll say tie. Returns to you wherever you may be. You may choose to catch it without an action if you have a hand free to do so. Otherwise, it lands on the ground somewhere nearby as chosen by the GM. Okay, so that's all the same. I do think I want the damage to be a 5d6 though. I feel like if it can break through stone, and stone is like thick stone is 40 HP, thin stone is 20. On average, 5d6 is 15. Like that'll break through thin stone, but it's not gonna cut through. It's not gonna cut through heavy, like thick. You know, if it made it 8d6 on average, like if it's just like 3, right? 3 is average of 6. That'll do 24, which will definitely get through thin stone and probably thin steel, because thin steel's 25. So chances are you'll probably do some damage to steel. But that could be a lot to have SP. The other option though we could do is I could leave it as 46, which is fine. It does not have SP when thrown. Or, you know, it's in the hand of the user with the correct biometric key, right? Then it ignores SP of whatever and lower. And I think we could do that. So let's leave it at 46. I can either put a biometric key, I guess, on the rim of the hat. That's different from a handle, right? Like when you hold a weapon, like you're gonna hold it the same way each time. But if you're throwing a hat, you're not necessarily always gonna, you know, put your hand in the exact same place. So I think I like the idea that it's linked to a tie. So let's say it's linked to be an encrypted electronic signature. Or I guess I could link it to a biomonitor, right? Which is kind of the same. It's, you know, it's not, your biometric key isn't then, instead of sending it to an agent, you could send it to the hat. There we go. So let's go with that. And then do a bio monitor. So let's say when thrown by user with the correct bio monitor. Dealt. You know, I just realized I was like, ignores the target's armor completely. Because I was like, well, that will get rid of the damage, but that doesn't. Like, stone and metal doesn't have SP, so, like, this is actually not... This is absolutely useless. Although I suppose it does need to be linked to a biomonitor to return to know where to return to, right? So we'll do that. But I may bump it up to... What is that, 86? This is as powerful as a rocket. I'm gonna have to play around with the numbers. It won't have SP Wind Throne though. Not if it's that high. So we'll do that. I'll have to double check it with the new martial arts too to make sure it's somewhat viable. That's pretty crazy and it's like a lot. And let's just make a note here that it has the appearance of business wear. Like the hat isn't concealable, but the weapon portion of the hat would be technically, I would say, can be technically considered concealable. So that's what I'm gonna go with. So you can only throw it once per turn. Possibly 46. I mean, man, even the thin cover HP is like a lot. Oh, concrete is significantly less than... Concrete's like half of stone. So I don't know. If we're going off concrete, I'm gonna be fine. At like 46, so... But, you know, proper stone, eh. It's thin. If it's thick though, it's definitely not getting through. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of Moving to Night City. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you want to watch full, lightly edited videos of the entire live stream, they are available to select Patreon tiers and release a few days after the live stream. To become a member, you can head on over to patreon.com/edrunnershq. For more content, you can find us on Blue Sky, Twitch, and Reddit. That's all for this episode of Moving to Night City. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, and until next time, meow for now.